What is up, guys? This is Jeff coming to you from Verdi, Nevada, aboard the Beast, the Lorentz Major. This ride is actually mostly all uphill, and it was super cold at 32 degrees starting out. Wasn't really sure if it was going to warm up at all, so I decided to ride the Range Beast, see how far up I could get. And this ride, usually the road is pretty cracked up, a lot of gravel on it, and opportunities to just get flats. I've actually flatted several times on my road bike, so figured the most durable board I got was this one. Really did not even want to go. It was so cold. I just stood at the car for a little bit thinking, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself through this every day? But I figured I'd get out here, give it a go at least, see what happens. And luckily it did warm up somewhat and got out here. It wasn't really the most pretty ride in this high desert until I hit the state park with this great bridge. Got a couple good photos right along the Truckee River here. It was really beautiful. One of the highlights is when I saw this trail off to the side. This was really incredible. I hadn't really ridden the Lorentz Major off-road before, but I was having a ton of fun on this little single track trail. Kind of just looped around this pond, and it was got some imperfections, but it was relatively smooth because it was so cold. But it was a real good time. I was so surprised that these tires actually absorbed a lot of the bumps and actually kept some pretty good traction over this dirt section here. You know, these are definitely bigger wheels, low profile tires like a lowrider car would have. So I was not expecting to be able to go this quick on this trail that was super narrow, wasn't tons of traction at all. And, you know, it just flowed over it all. It was like surfing on the dirt. This is the section where I was just coming up to that pond that was in the beginning of the video with the drone shots. This water was actually pretty frozen over. It wasn't that thick of ice, but it was definitely a thin layer, and it just helped to kind of reflect all the sky off of it. It was really incredible. The footage actually doesn't really even do it justice, so I definitely did have to come over here and get some more close-up shots of it. Check it out. You know, if I was just driving past, I would never stop here in a million years probably. But on an electric skateboard, it's all about exploring, checking out new places, and taking others for the ride. Sadly, all things must come to an end, and it was getting later in the day. Had to get back for work, so decided to do a little Insta 360 teleportation part way back, get me a little bit closer to the car quickly. So there we go, little teleportation, and then back onto the roads. Definitely not as much fun, not as optimal, but I definitely still had a bunch of batteries, so I really wasn't worried about range, which was really nice. And, going this fast, on a board when it's only 34 degrees perhaps, it does, I'd imagine, suck into your range abilities. I'm just going to teleport back a little bit more, get through this high desert area. But boy, the sky does look good. This little bike path almost chattered me to death. Can't even really tell, but it was cool. Right by the freeway. Nice little rock wall there for aesthetics, and just keep on keeping it pinned. I did accidentally hit the button around here, and I was in gear 3, and that was a mistake because way too much power, and I'm not ready. Just wrapping up this ride coming over the Truckee River. I got in about 13 miles at this point, almost back to the car, maybe half a mile along this path. It was super cold. It was really windy all the way up. And, I think that's pretty solid, 70% battery. You do tend to lose more on that second half of the battery pack, and this board's no exception. Even though it does have that 1500 kilowatt hour battery pack, there are limitations to all these boards. But I was stoked just to actually get out. Kind of didn't even want to, but every time I start, I never actually want to end.